What's good, y'all? It's Roy.
It's Jeremiah.
And we back at it again with another episode of We Gotta Do Better.
Because I'm doing better.
We got a very special guest. The one, the only. You might have seen her on your Instagram feed.
Oh, wow. What an entrance. Go ahead.
The very beautiful supermodel.
Oh, okay. All right.
Actress.
Okay.
All of the above.
All right.
Yosmi Trinidad. Woo!
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
What's going on?
This is my first interview, so I'm a little nervous.
Tell what you do.
So I am a model, actress, and content creator.
Okay. Well, as a model, basically, does social media affect your mental health?
Honestly, it does. I know some people might not want to admit it, but it does sometimes, because if I don't get a certain amount of likes or a certain amount of views, I'm like, dang, that was a good photo, that was a good video. Why is it not reaching my followers? Especially with social media now changing, the algorithm is always changing. And as a content creator, that can affect me. And I think that's honestly what I do. Content creating is probably my least favorite now, just because I have to look at the likes and the views, and sometimes I'll think if my engagement isn't good enough, a brand might not want to work with me.
Oh, that's true. So it's everybody's reaction and what people are liking and the way they interact, basically, that's your bread and butter.
Yeah, and also if a photo or a video doesn't do well, I don't want people to think oh, she has fake followers, because it took me a long time to get to this amount, to this following.
You know what I really appreciated about that was that, it was the honesty. You know what? As many followers and things that I have, yeah, it does, get to me, because a lot of, especially, women, they're afraid to even say hey, social media, it affects me in terms of, maybe body image or standard of beauty. But you do this professionally.
Even if you're not a content creator or a model or actress, it can sting a little bit, and that's why I think it's so important to take breaks and to not let social media consume you, because there's so many positives to social media, but there's also a lot of negatives.
It's funny you said that. I was dead gonna ask you, because I have a bunch of friends, they tell me all the time, most of them, when they'll take breaks from social media, but it's draining for me. Or a lot of girls I see notice, they have that app that you can put on your phone where you can put a time restriction on it.
Yes,
and
I
it's
do that.
People do it, but I find it so funny because most of the time they bypass it.
Yeah.
You would see them, they go on their phone, it says you passed the time limit, they just click bypass and they just go through it.
Is that something that you usually do to protect your mental health, or you take breaks? How does that work?
Yes, I do have a timer.
Yeah.
I always set it to a timer, and once I reach that time, I try to stay off of social media. It's a little hard sometimes if I have a brand deal, or if I have to post something or engage with my followers, then that's the only time where I'll surpass the time.
I was just gonna ask you about that. Isn't it kind of conflicting though, because of the fact that's how you get your that's one of your bread and butters. So for you to put time restrictions on yourself, doesn't that kind of limit your engagement with your crowd and stuff like that?
Yeah, sometimes it does, but I either have to choose that or choose myself.
There we go.
And also with modeling and acting, you don't really need social media. I mean, it helps. It really does. That's one of the main reasons why I decided to grow my following, because it does help to have a following. But
that's not make or break.
Yeah, it's not a make or break. You don't need that to act or model. You probably might need it a little bit if you want to, be a content creator full time.
But that's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
That don't stop the bag, right?
And also,
No.
yeah, exactly. And also, I try to focus more on modeling and acting. Content creating, I love it, but it can be draining. I try to do that the least.
Oh, okay.
Well, what is some advice you would give to someone that wants to get into the modeling realm?
I would say do your research. A lot of people say they want to do things, but they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to research it. Google's your best friend. Google's my best friend. That's literally how I learned how to model, how to act, how to do the things that I do now. And Google's free. A lot of people don't, a lot of people ask other people like, oh, how did you become a model? How did you become an actress? But they've never even Googled it. Like, Google it, guys. Like, it's literally free.
Okay.
I would also say you don't have to do anything that you're uncomfortable doing, especially when it comes to modeling, because I think there's this like stereotype that you have to pose nude, and you don't have to pose nude. You don't have to be sexy at all. There's all different types of modeling. So definitely do your research, because you don't have to do a certain type of modeling that you don't want to do.
Ladies and gents, do your research. And also speaking on that, when you talk about like doing research and stuff like that, now that it's a learning process. So everything that you learned, what do you feel like is one thing that you wish that you already knew before you started modeling?
I wish I knew what type of photos you need for certain jobs. So you definitely need to grow your portfolio. Portfolio is basically your best images, and you need to submit certain type of images for certain type of jobs. So if it's a commercial, there's a certain type of photo that you would have to submit. If it's a music video, there's certain types of photos that you would have to submit. It's all different. There's literally commercial modeling, runway, editorial, lifestyle, even like hand modeling. Like, I've done hand modeling before. Like, you literally need photos of your hands.
I know you mentioned like some of the advice was that, you know, you don't have to do just only sexy modeling. And, you know, when you hear the word model, you kind of always, you know, you imagine, you know, sexy. You imagine Vogue and bikini pictures and, you know, swimsuit models. That's the first thing that pops into your head. And you just like honestly open up, you know, the viewer's mind that there's more aspects to being a model. You can be a what you said, a hand model.
A hand model.
No, yes.
Can I be a hand model?
Yes,
No,
your hands are nice.
Okay.
Yo, pack them up.
And you can make a lot of money, believe it or not, hand modeling. And
Definitely.
even parts. It's called parts modeling. So like your arm and like your wrist,
Model my forearm.
your
Yes, sir.
your thigh or something. Maybe they want you to model shorts, and maybe they need your legs.
So put a pin in that note. You know, you don't gotta always show your goodies to be a model.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can model
You know,
whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever
You
you
can be a
want.
knee model, whatever you want.
Nice. That I thought that was like pretty interesting.
Oh man, we're still on the topic of learning process and stuff like that, and modeling being a learning process. What do you feel like your biggest failure taught you?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I failed. I mean, I think you only fail when you stop. That's
Okay.
when you fail, when you stop trying to go after your dreams. Never give up on your dreams, because you only fail until you stop.
Well, were there any like
there-
roadblocks? You know.
Yeah, there definitely were some setbacks. Like, I went to college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I am grateful for my college experience, and I don't regret it, but it was a setback because I wasn't able to do as many gigs as I wanted to. And even COVID, like, I had a plan that in 2020 when I would graduate that I was going to do it full time. And I couldn't do that because obviously COVID and everything, and everything was slow. There was literally no jobs.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had to like do different things to make money. Like, modeling wasn't making me that much money in the beginning. Like, I had to do Uber Eats. So in 2021, when COVID, you know, calmed down a little bit, that's when I was finally able to do modeling and acting and content creating full time. I was kind of testing the waters in the beginning a little bit. You know, I was doing gigs here and there. And then once it started to really pick up, I realized like, wow, like I could really do this for a living. Like, I can make money off of this. So why not put my all into it? And that's when I literally quit everything just to focus on what I really wanted to do.
Oh, paint that picture for the viewer. Like, what was that feeling like when you finally decided to go all in, no more school, and you just said, I'm going to do this full time, pack up the degree, I'm going to go and be a model full time. Like, express that feeling. How did that feel?
Honestly, it was scary. It was scary. It was exciting. I was scared because with modeling, you could have a really slow month and you can literally won't make any money. But then you could have a really good month and make tons of money. So it all depends, especially like entering as a new model. It is really scary. Like, you don't know when your next job is going to be. And also sometimes it takes forever to get paid. Like, you could have a job and you'll get your money like months later. Like, it's so annoying and really frustrating. So you kind of have to work on a budget. Like, you have to be on a budget, because if not, you're going to be broke. And also, it was exciting because it's something I always wanted to do.
You know, at parallels being, you know, an entrepreneur
Yeah.
and always having to hustle, and you don't know when that next dollar is gonna come in. So you always got to be out on the hunt.
Yeah.
You always got to be working.
Definitely. You gotta
Yes.
just keep going.
It does feel like I'm always working. I'm always applying to castings. I'm always like sending new updates to my agencies. I'm always trying to grow more on social media, create more content. Like, it's a never ending cycle, but I do think it's worth it. If it's something that you really love to do, it's always exciting when you book a job and when you get something new.
It's funny when you say that. Like, I'm thinking about it. I remember seeing a meme. They was like, "Oh, you know, I quit my 9 to 5 because I don't want to be working all the time, and now I'm working for myself, and I don't stop working." So it's like, it's ironic. Most people, they don't want to work. They don't want to have that time commitment. But when they decide that they want to work on their own, it's like, when you're truly committed to something, it doesn't matter how much time it takes. You're willing to like really put that
Yeah.
time in.
Because if it's something that you really, truly love, it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like I'm literally having fun all the time, every day. Like, it's really fun. So I don't really see it as a job. I'm always willing to put more work in, no
That's
matter
what's
what
up.
it takes.
But are there any like myths for like the people that are kind of like nervous, aside from like, you know, you say you don't have to post news? Like, is there any other like myths, like rumors about the industry that you're in?
Any
that you
misconceptions or
just wanna
you
clear
said it
up?
right. Yeah, any myths about modeling that you're trying to debunk?
You don't have to be 6 feet tall to model. Like, I'm 5'4", like 5'3", 5'4". I'm not tall at all. In the beginning, I thought that I had to be tall. That's one of the reasons why I thought I could never model. I remember my mom would tell me, "Oh, you should model. Why don't you try doing that?" And I would tell her, like, "You're crazy. Like, that would never happen." But it's crazy because people think that you have to be tall to model. You don't. There's so many different types of modeling. There's only a height requirement usually for runway or editorials and high fashion. That's usually like when they have a height requirement. And the industry's changing. I've been seeing shorter models walk the runway lately too. So don't let your height discourage you, or your size. Like, you could be any size, you could be any height. There's literally no height requirement or size requirement for commercial modeling, beauty. Like, if you want to like model for Maybelline, Estee Lauder, like big companies like that, there's no height requirement. Like, it's your face, you know?
You didn't let your height be a limitation, because I feel like some people might say, "Oh, I'm too short, so I'm not even going to try. I'm too big, I might not even try." And you're literally giving people permission to, you know what? No, let me step out. Doesn't matter my height, my weight, what I look like. If you feel very strongly about it, go ahead and you do it. And she's obviously an example that it obviously works. It obviously pays off, because she's doing very well for herself at standing at, you know, 5'4", and she's already breaking a stereotype right there. And I thought that was, you know, I think that's dope.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what's up. You know, you can't let people set the tone for you. You gotta go to your own drum. So that's what's up. What are the 3 biggest things that influence you in your life?
The 3 biggest things or people?
Each.
Yeah,
you could
people.
do things. You could do people.
Whatever.
And you could do things.
I would definitely say my parents. My parents honestly encouraged me to follow this path and to model and to act. And in the beginning, I would look at them and be like, "Oh, that would never happen." And they would always tell me, like, "You never know until you try." And I was always a very artsy person growing up. I always thought that I would model or act or do something in that field. But when I went to college, I kind of felt like it was slipping away, like, "Oh yeah, like, it's probably not gonna happen." So definitely my parents, because I remember I was working retail, and it was like a big commute for me to go from my house to the job that I had at the time during the summer. And my parents were like, "Why don't you just quit and just try to do
Must be
modeling and
nice.
acting?" And I looked at them like, "Really? Like, you
Must be
think I should
nice.
do it?" And they were like, "Yeah, do it. Like, why not?"
Amazing parents. Shout out to our parents.
And it's rare to find parents like that, because a lot of parents would be like, "No,
Yeah, keep working.
yeah, don't do that.
Try
Like,
being Caribbean.
that's not realistic. You're not gonna make money. Like, don't do that." So I'm really grateful that I have parents like that, and they're so supportive till this day. Like, they're always like super proud of me whenever I achieve stuff. And oh, I have another influence. You might not like this one, but I would say Kim Kardashian is one of my biggest influences. Like, she's not a model or an actress, but because she turned a bad situation into a good situation, I feel like that's very admirable. And even though she was rich and born into wealth and had a lot of connections, like, she worked for it. Because there's a lot of rich people, I don't know their name, like, they're just rich, you know? Like, but she really worked for it. Like, she had to grind for it because in the beginning she wasn't respected, and she's short. She literally just walked, I think, for Balenciaga, and she's 5'2".
Oh, she's 5'2". I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, like, that inspires me. Like, even though we have very different upbringings, like, it's still very inspiring. Like, oh, if she can do it, I could do it too, you know?
Jim K out here inspiring the masses. One thing I did, want to kind of elaborate on, which was like really, really cool that you said, the fact that your parents were like, duh, like why wouldn't you go, full force? A lot of parents, especially from a Caribbean background,
Yes.
you're Dominican,
Yes.
and a lot of us would feel that same thing. Like our parents would be, whoa, go get a real job.
Yeah.
Why did you go to school? How do you think when people kind of question, oh, why are you not doing something with your degree? Do you ever feel that? Obviously, you have your parents that support you, but do you ever come across people that might say, oh, why don't you get a real job, or why don't you use your degree? You're wasting your time. How do you navigate that, or have you had any experiences like that?
Yeah, actually, I've had many experiences like that with a lot of my family members in the beginning. Even now, sometimes they're like, what are you doing? Because they don't really keep up with what I'm doing. So they just think that I'm home sitting doing nothing. And they think that I'm broke. They think I'm not making money. I mean, now it's getting a little better because, they've seen like some commercials that I've done and some like photo shoots that I've done for big brands. So they're like, oh, okay, like this is
She
actually
must be doing something.
yeah, this is actually working for her. And slowly they're like more family members are getting a little bit interested, like, oh, like, how's that going? Like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what's that show that you were on? I want to go see it. So in the beginning though, like, it was rough, like, and I would get really upset because I remember I had someone tell me, why would you go to school and then model and act after? Like, what are you doing? Like, why would you waste your time? Like, you literally wasted your time in front of everybody, and it was really hurtful and
That's messed up.
and embarrassing too. But you have to block that out. You can't listen to people because a lot of the time people doubt you and project their negative thoughts on you because they think that they themselves can't achieve that. So because they think that they can't achieve that, they also think that you can't achieve that. They think that that's not possible. They think it's impossible. Like, they would never have the courage or the balls to go after their dreams. So once they see someone doing that and stepping out of the norm, it's uncomfortable for them. It's like, what are you doing?
And they're trying to shoot you down.
Yeah, because exactly.
Makes sense. As long as you stay motivated and you stay headstrong, because at the end of the day, it's a high risk for a high reward. So, kudos to you. That's good that you do that. Because a lot of people, they get scared off. And like you said earlier, like when we first started, you only lose like when you give up. So you got to keep fighting.
Yeah. And also, it's your life at the end of the day. Like, if you don't try now, you're going to look back and you're going to regret it. Like, yes, I did go to college and I couldn't do it for 4 years, but do I regret going to college? No, because it's part of my journey. And if I didn't go to college, maybe I wouldn't have enough confidence to actually do this.
Yeah. And like you said before, it's the experience. Life is a big experience. So, like, a lot of times people would like not pay attention to that, not care about those kind of things. That's why I always tell like my students, go away for school. Because when you go away, you get different kind of experiences. You grow as a person, and that help you grow and that help mold you into who you are today. So I feel like it's a good thing that you said that, like, you don't regret going to college because those experiences stay with you.
And also going away for school, because I did go away for 4 years. It was scary too. Like, that's something I never thought I would do. I thought I would commute. But I'm so happy I did, go away because I was alone. I had to be independent. And I think that's when I finally had to make my own decisions. And that's really what influenced me to pursue this path.
There you go. See?
Here we go. You walk into a room, and there's a lot of people at a party or something like that. And then someone asks the regular question of, oh, and what do you do? How do you feel in that moment?
I hate telling people what I do.
Really?
I do. I don't like telling people what I do.
Why is that?
Because usually they look at me and they're like, for real? Like, you have to do something on the side. Like, I've had someone, I remember even like on set, this actor told me like, oh, so is your plan to like wait tables and be a waitress? And I was like, no. Like, what? Like, that's not my plan at all. And I think a lot of the time people think it's impossible to do this full time, but I'm doing it full time. I pay my bills with this money. I only do this. Like, I don't do anything else. And honestly, like, I'm probably making more than what I would make if I was doing something with what I studied. You just have to really work hard, but it is an uncomfortable question. I hate telling people, and usually I don't even tell them exactly what I do. I'm just like, oh, I'm a model. I don't even tell them like I act as well, that I content create. I don't tell them any of that because I don't feel like explaining myself.
You shouldn't have to.
And also, I think I get the opposite, like the opposite thing with people that I know. Like, they kind of never ask me what I'm up to. Like,
because you don't want to seem like you're showing them out, or like you're talking about yourself. Is that what I'm getting?
No, it's mostly they just don't like. They're not like, oh, what do you do? Because
they don't even. People you know, they don't even ask.
Yeah, people I know, they don't even ask how I'm doing, what I'm up to. Usually,
sounds like haters.
And then people that I don't know, they'll ask me, but I hate it. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's like I rather not say. Like, I'm fine with people not asking me what I do because I really don't want to like sound like I'm bragging.
Do you feel like sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to talk to her because I don't want to feel bad about myself?
I mean, once you like start working in this industry, you really find out who your real friends are. Like, your real friends are going to support you no matter what. And then there's those people that are going to distance themselves a little bit because they don't really want to know what you're up to. There's always going to be those people that aren't really rooting for you to win. But that's normal. That's with everything.
Is there anything new that has recently inspired you?
Well, recently I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this girl. She got her own camera and she taught herself how to shoot herself. So she literally is her own stylist, makeup artist, like everything. And she taught herself how to do photography and she does her own photo shoots. And once I saw that, I was like, maybe I should try doing that. So I recently bought a camera and a lens. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes.
I love that because a lot of people aren't really open to saying, oh, hey, I'm inspired by this. But not only were you inspired by that, you seen something and then you took action. I think that's fire. There's a lot of gems in this combo. I hear a lot of go out and work, do it for yourself, step out on your passion. I'm hearing invest in yourself. You know, the things that we think are cliche, it's funny how it's so applicable to any area, any career, and that you see that certain things don't change. No matter what it is, you have to get up and grind. Because like you said, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
Ooh, quickly, tell us a modeling horror story. Something that happened that had you shook.
That's I want to hear this.
I have so many of these. Okay. There was one time I had an audition, and usually for modeling, it's called like a go-see. They just want to see how you look and see if you fit in the clothes and everything. So I go to the audition.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. Can you repeat what it's called?
A go-see.
A go-see.
So usually for modeling, it's called a go-see. So this was a few years back. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I went to this audition, and it was in a small studio. I didn't think anything of it. You know, New York is small. And the designer had a bunch of clothes on the rack, and he just had me try them on, you know. And in the beginning, he kind of just handed me the clothes, and he didn't even tell me where I could change. And I thought that was normal at first because I was like, you know, like in modeling and runway, you're like changing, you know, in front of everybody, like everybody sees you. But I thought it was a little weird because it's an audition, and also like it's just me and him, so it's like a little weird. Like, you should at least give me the option to change somewhere. So I asked him like, hey, where can I change? And he pointed somewhere else. And in the audition, I remember he was talking really low like this, like he was whispering. And I was like, why is he talking like that? I could barely hear him. And also he made me like crawl on the floor like a cheetah. He literally made me crawl on the floor like a cheetah. He made me crawl on the couch. There was a little couch there. And after a while, I'm like, all right, what am I doing? Like, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? And also was taking a long time, and that was like a little sus. After like the first 10 minutes, I'm like, like this doesn't take that long. And then it kept going on and on and on. I was there for like maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and honestly,
Were you calling for 40 minutes?
I was in there for 40 minutes, and honestly, it shouldn't even have gone that long, but I was so young, naive, and stupid that I thought, like, oh, maybe this is normal, but after a while...
Were there, like, some red flags going off in your head?
Yes, definitely, and then after a while, he was just making me do the most, like, crawl on the floor and act like a cheetah, and he was recording it and stuff, and he kept talking like this, like, really quietly, and, like, he was just saying comments I don't really remember. It was just so weird, and... After, like, he wanted me to try something on that was completely see-through, and after, I was already creeped out by him, so I'm like, you know what, I'm leaving. Like, if you know, an audition never lasts this long. An audition is usually, like, 10 minutes tops. Like, it's super quick. They just want to see you in and out, in and out. Like,
Ladies and gents, if the audition's longer than 10 minutes, get up out of here.
yeah, unless it's acting. If it's acting, you might be in there for a few more minutes, you know, if you have to read lines. So... yeah, so
So you just got your stuff and you left.
I literally was like, I'm done. Like, I have to go. And then he's like, where are you going? I scared you off. And I left. Like, that was the crazy experience. Like, why was I crawling
once
on
you
the
hear
floor?
I scare you off,
Yeah, that's creepy.
I'm happy you're alive. I'm happy you're
It
here.
was just so creepy. Like,
oh my goodness.
yeah, so.
Oh, yeah. It's a perfect time. Look into the camera. Give some women some words of caution or something like that. Like, what would you say, to have girls be prepared for situations like that?
Look into the camera.
Always share your location with someone. I had a friend outside waiting for me that day. Thank God she was there, because honestly, he knew she was there. And if she wasn't there, maybe something could have happened. So always share your location with someone. Always share your location with someone. And if they always, like, there's these emails that might be sent out. If you didn't apply to anything and then it's like, oh, you just got selected for Adidas, that's a scam. Like, or if it tells you, oh, I'm going to mail you a check. If they say they're going to mail you a check and before the shoot even begins, that's also a scam. It's a fake check, and they can honestly steal all your money from your account if you deposit that check. So please don't deposit that check. There's a lot of emails going out right now, and that happened to me before. I didn't deposit the check, but I do know a friend, and she did, and all her money got wiped from her account. So don't do that.
Wait, what?
Wow, that was...
Wait.
So basically, people out here scamming.
Yes.
I guess they're getting your information online, and then
Yeah.
they're saying, "Oh, you got booked for blah blah blah.
Yep.
Send us some money."
No, you don't have to send them money. They'll send you a check,
Oh.
a fake check that looks real. And if you deposit that check in your account, all your money is going to be wiped.
Oh wow.
So don't do it. I've received a fake check before, but I was like, I didn't apply to this. You know, if you get a random email saying that you got a big job and you never applied to anything, that's a scam. Like, Adidas and Nike is not just going to randomly email you. Like, there's a whole...
That's actually insane.
There's a whole audition process that goes into it.
I'm like, you know how you just said there was like some creepy things that go on in the modeling world? Are there like some weird like trafficking things that you gotta, like people trafficking things you gotta be aware of, or that's like just in movies?
I honestly don't know. I've never heard of
nothing that shady.
I've never heard of something that crazy before, but they might try to steal your money, or they might just try to like make you pay tons of money and then like nothing happens, Like there's a lot of like companies out there that will say, we're going to make you famous, be the next Disney Channel star. And then you have to pay like $3,000. Like, no. If you want acting classes, you don't have to pay. Like, you could find affordable acting classes in your budget. Mm-hmm. And same if you want to learn how to, like, walk a runway. You could find affordable classes, but you don't necessarily need that. You can teach yourself that.
Talked about how you did many different jobs. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite one that you've done so far?
My favorite one, I worked with Ulta Beauty. Ulta, the store.
Yeah.
And they interviewed me because I have eczema, so I really struggle with that. And being a model, it's really hard having that. If you get a random rash on your face, it's really hard to cover. So they interviewed me, and they asked me what products that I used, and I had a whole photo shoot. They even did my nails on set. It was, like, really cool. And I had a whole article about me. That, and definitely when I worked with Cosmopolitan, the braid up. The braid up is a segment.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, Cosmopolitan magazine. The braid up is a segment that they braid your hair and they do different like cool like braids on your hair. And I worked with them twice, so it was really cool.
Oh, real quickly, you know, what are some things, other things you've done? So Cosmopolitan, Ulta.
Oh, I was pranked on Impractical Jokers.
That's actually hilarious.
Oh, can you tell us what episodes that? Do you want people to see that?
You can see it. It's if you type on YouTube Impractical Jokers Ariana Grande, I'll pop up right away because they thought I looked like Ariana Grande, so that's like the title of the episode. I think, I don't know, but if you go on YouTube and just type Impractical Jokers Ariana Grande, I'll pop up immediately. That was really cool, and I worked with a few brands that they sell the products in Target. Some of it is not out yet, but
wait, so you're in like Target stores?
I wouldn't say I'm in yet, but I will be on the packaging soon.
Oh,
that's what's up.
Yes.
Aren't you in like hair packaging or something like that?
Oh yes, I'm also on hair packaging too in beauty
Which
supply
ones?
stores. A lot of them. You have to go search me.
Okay. Go search
I've
her,
like
go search her.
that day I modeled like 100 wigs, and I've done different jobs like that for different hair companies.
So you can catch
so
your
I'm-
face in stores.
Yeah, I'm probably in over like hundreds and hundreds of wigs and hair because they make you model all these like all this stuff in one day.
Have you seen yourself outside of the U.S.?
You know what's crazy? My family in Dominican Republic sent me an article, and I ended up in their newspaper. I was like, what the heck?
Oh,
What
wow.
was it about?
It was about, I think, anxiety. I don't even know. Like, I did like this shoot, and I forget what the shoot is called, but basically the images could end up anywhere. And someone sent me like a list of where I am. Like, I was in Russia. I was just in random places. Like, even, you know what's crazy? I typed in Google one day how to know. This is random, probably TMI, but I Googled how to know. I think it was something about friend related. I don't even know. Like, I just type in random things on Google, and I clicked the first article that popped up, and bro, my face was the first thing that popped up. I was like the image of that article. I was like, what the heck? Like,
That's what's up.
I'm weak.
sometimes I don't even know when things come out. Sometimes people send it to me first.
You pop up on my feed for random ads, like dating apps ads. Her face is there. Was it chocolate or perfume? Yeah, chocolate ads.
yeah,
I'm like, where are all
chocolate.
these ads? I'm seeing the same person over and over, and I'm sure so many people actually send you these, right?
Yeah, a
That's
lot of
what's up.
people have sent me the chocolate one actually, and the dating one.
What chocolate one?
I worked with this company, I forget the name, but it's a chocolate brand, and they're based in Las Vegas. They have like a chocolate museum in Vegas, which is really cool. And they sell it in some supermarkets here in New York and New Jersey. But it was cool. I literally like got to eat chocolate all day on set. So that was cool. And a lot of people have been sending me that photo because it keeps popping up as an ad.
Oh, so it's like a photo of you just eating chocolate?
Yeah, it's a photo of me eating chocolate, and
That's
a
what's
lot
up.
of people keep sending me that. And I've gotten a lot of different ones too, like a dating app, which I don't even remember doing that at all. Like, I'm like, when did I do this? Like, and it's funny. It's like a funny picture of me cheesing mad hard. I'm like, I don't remember taking this photo, so I don't even know when I did that.
Well,
But
since you said you have done so many different kind of like jobs,
Mm-hmm.
which one do you, not your favorite, but which one do you feel was like your biggest accomplishment?
my biggest accomplishment, I don't know, because sometimes what might be a big accomplishment to the general public might not be a big accomplishment for me. Like, for example, like I was in a short film for French Montana, and a lot of people commented like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing!" A lot of people told me congrats. But then I did something like, for example, I did a commercial for kitchenware, and they sell that in Target. And like, not a lot of people said that, but I thought that, to me, that was like a bigger accomplishment, because I'm like, wow, this is for Target. You know, they're gonna sell these products in Target. So I guess it just varies. Like, I think all of them are different, so I wouldn't say like one is better than the other.
Yeah, okay.
But I think I like doing commercials more. Like, they're more fun, and like, I think it's cooler because like a lot of people can see you everywhere. And whereas music videos, they're kind of focused on the main artist. They're not really focused like on you.
Nah, that's actually really dope. You're seen every single place all over the globe, over here, over there.
Oh, and almost forgot. I was actually the front cover of this magazine in Paris called Movir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I was like the front cover, which I never thought I would be a front cover.
Oh, I forgot, by the way. I was on the front cover of a magazine.
I
That's
feel
fire.
like sometimes I do so many things that I just forget what I do. I have to let me go on my Instagram and see what I've done.
So you even international.
That's what's up. She got the international stamp.
I wouldn't say I'm international, but
Any other quick things that pop up in your head also or no?
oh well, there's this bowling alley in Times Square called Frames, and
I was just there like 2 weeks ago. That's
Really?
what's up. Yep.
Really? Oh, if you go on the website, I'm on the website. And I might pop up on the screen too. I'm not sure. I was on a little banner before.
What kind of hairstyle did you have?
Huh?
What kind of hairstyle did you have? Do you remember?
Curly, and I had an orange shirt on.
I might have seen it.
So you in Times Square? That's basically a billboard to me. Sound like a billboard to me. If you make it in Times Square, that's a stamp of approval. You really made it.
Yeah. I also recently I played kind of a big role, I guess you could say. I can't really say too much, but stay tuned.
Ooh.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot coming. There's a lot. I just can't really say sometimes.
This was very informative for anyone that doesn't, know about modeling or is interested in getting with modeling. Before we wrap up, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at YOSMI14. Yosmi14. That's my Instagram. And once you go to my Instagram, you'll see in my bio my TikToks.
Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to follow your dreams and never give up. Don't listen to the negative people that are trying to bring you down. Keep on going.
There you go. And this has been a nice, great episode of We Gotta Do Better, episode number...
I don't know. Yeah, it is.